In an attempt to make this video as concise and as simple for everybody as possible, I have multiple camera angles here today to show that this device, which I will clarify now, is on a guest account. This is my guest account. It's called Goblin Guest, and it is just this device here. This here is my main device, so this one is my V50. I don't know if it's on. This is the one that I use to remote into my devices the most frequently. On my left here, you can see that we're in the Steam menu and everything like that. These are my installed games. So I have a separate collection here for emulation. Now, one of the things that's really useful that you guys should know about, and is the methodology of which I am capturing my screen at the moment, is Sunshine and Moonlink. So by installing Sunshine, let me pull that up. Lizard Bite Sunshine. This will allow you to host your PC and a app known as Moonlight, which you can get off of the Play Store. And it is completely free. It's completely based on you kind of having the technology as well as kind of the forward-thinking mindset to put these kinds of things together. Now, in my previous video, we kind of went over the benefits of having a subnet and kind of separating yourself from everybody on the network. And this weekend has kind of been an example of that, having networks like Netflix going constantly for kids and having the radios going constantly. Everything's an internet radio these days. And, even modern television running through the internet. So even if we were catching a break, even if the news was coming on, it was still using the internet pipeline. So by creating a subnet, we completely obfuscated us existing on that network. So by existing on our own network, we can connect to each other and use the resources like Moonlight and Sunshine on our local PCs to then be able to use our other devices as alternative controllers, such as these phones or, anything you really want. You could even just use a 3D printed clip and then put a tablet in the very top of it. As long as you can put Moonlight on it, you can use it. That's kind of fundamentally the idea. I was playing around with Moonlight, and you can even embed it on your PSP. So you can use an PSP Go as your controller and display of choice. And there's even now controllers coming out with small displays in them just for this kind of feature, just in case you're using it as a cloud resource. You're all good to go. In my opinion, I think the community should begin looking at the PlayStation Portal. It's a very important device that a lot of people purchased. I think it needs to be hacked, opened up, and given Moonlight as its main functionality in some way. There are other devices that I feel the same about, but we're not there yet. So just make sure you guys take into consideration throwing Sunshine on your PC and using Moonlight to connect up. Now, I want to note that the very first time that you load up Sunshine, it's going to prompt you for a password. Make sure that you use Sunshine and something that you're going to remember, or whatever information there that you're comfortable with, and then save that into whatever browser that you're using. So if somebody else wants to pair their device to your Sunshine for multiplayer, in the example I want to give is for emulation. So if you wanted to use your PC to then play Switch and have multiple clients like these on your cloud network with their own display and connection, so that way you don't have to play so localized in the same space. You can kind of be spread out throughout the house and still be connected to each other and still be playing games with each other. This is kind of the only way to do that as of right now. And giving each person their own Wi-Fi repeater, as stated in the previous video, will also allow you to connect up these devices a lot faster, giving each person their own subnet. And then if they're all on their own VM and you scale this upward, each VM would have their own subnet, which would then bounce into the same SSID. So if you wanted to take it and make it really easy for yourself, one of the easiest way to do that is to just search on your Steam library for local multiplayer, and by installing these games you'll be able to just simply load up your friends list. And if you have the Steam chat app, specifically the Steam Chat app. So I'm going to power up and I'm going to take control of this computer, and you're going to see my Steam load up. I'm going to power on my Bluetooth. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go library. Controller friendly is usually your best bet. I would stick within that. Let's do Aegis Defenders. I'm just going to let the game load up here. And then once the game has fully loaded up, since we're going to be using the Steam option, you're going to have Steam Chat loaded up on your device waiting for the request. Anybody else on your network would be doing the exact same thing. All that is required is that they have Steam Chat on their device. They might be required to have Steam Link. I'm not 100% positive there. But once the game has started up and you're at the controller selections portion of the game, Goblin Guest, remote play together. Okay, so this one's 2-player. So that's why you got booted. This one got booted. That's fine. Yay! And it works that simply. Like, now he can jump into anything that I'm playing with a simple invite if the game has remote play. And the same thing is true if he wants to play with me via Moonlight as well. Let's say I'm playing an emulator or something like that. He is able to then just hop in. We can pair his controller and separate it, and he gets his own display. So we can be anywhere in the house, and with a simple invite and with the correct app and notifications, we're able to just link up and play. It just makes sense, right? So the exact same thing can be done if somebody has a Steam Deck, if they have any type of those gaming peripherals, Lenovo Go, whatever. The exact same principle applies. Install Steam onto that device, open your chat client, wait for the remote to pair, and then they can have their own co-op feature. Now, obviously, this means that if you have your own nodes, each node can be like a retro node or something like that for somebody to access and then be able to play games off of. And this is something that I discussed in the feature set of the Steam machine that I thought would be really interesting for us to figure out a way to capture and localize without the semi-peripheral hardware that Steam provided us. Now, with the prices as high as they are, server systems are beginning to look more interesting for a lot of people. Workstation graphics cards and cheaper RAM sets are all looking a little bit more interesting. But we have to raise the question on how we're going to utilize that technology. And hopefully you can see now how something like purchasing a gaming server system where you could have 2 children have their own VMs and 2 parents have their own VMs, or maybe the kids have their own nodes and the parents have their own VMs. It really all comes down to how you choose to construct it. But as long as you put a layer of Sunshine, Steam, and some form of shared system storage, such as an SMB, you can reduce the amount of data you need in your footprint and reduce the size of technology you need for your total gaming experience, because ultimately all you would need is each person to have a phone and there to be one centralized computer, and 4-player multiplayer is already available. So if you have a laptop already, these are things that you should be considering and looking at and implementing into your routine if you're playing with your friends, because like I said in the previous video, these are the kinds of things that are going to make the future of gaming for everyone. So yeah,